Hello, boys and girls. This is Mr. Gonzalez's English 7 class. This is how we're going to be doing our learning for the foreseeable future while we try to figure out what's going on with the pandemic. But yeah, we should be. Going to try to make it as easy as I can so that it's not too hard. And after you watch this video, I will be having a meeting that I will link to on Google Classroom. So if you do have any questions, you can ask me. Okay, and this is how it's going to work for the next few weeks. I will be putting up a video. After the video, you'll be able to come and ask questions to me live. Okay, so to start off, we're going to go to the project page on Justice and Injustices. And one of the cool parts about me doing a video like this is that you guys can pause. So if you need to pause to find this, then go ahead. But we are in the Outsiders on trial. We're going to go to checkpoint 1. In checkpoint 1, all the way towards the bottom, there's this developmental workshop. If you click that, this will open up here. Okay, and this is what we're going to be working on today. I'm going to be going through this PowerPoint, excuse me, and then after this PowerPoint, I will be doing a sort of little example. After the example, I'm going to put up another video that shows you how you're going to do the assignment that you're supposed to be doing this week. Okay, so again, if you need to pause to find this, go ahead so you can follow along, or if you just want to, so you know where this is at, so in case you get lost, you always know where this is. But we'll go ahead and start. I'm only going to go through some of the slides. I'm not going to go through all of them. Okay, I just want to make this as quick as possible so that we can do this, get the assignment up and running, and then if you have any questions, ask me. Okay, so development, what is it? Analyzing the development of events, individuals, and ideas, concepts over the course of a text. So development is the growth or advancement over time, and analyzing is looking closely at one part and determining its deeper meaning. Okay, so part of what we're going to do in this project is we're going to be looking at characters and we're going to be looking at their development, how they grow over a time. And we're going to be analyzing, we're going to be looking closely. Okay, so as you read, you will be looking closely to see how these characters grow. So while you're reading, you're going to ask yourself, how are ideas, characters, and events introduced and explained? How do ideas, characters, and events develop and grow in each part of the plot of the story? How does each idea, character, event connect, interact, and contrast from other ideas, characters, and events in the story? How does the development of an idea, character, or event contribute to the overall plot and an overall theme? Okay, so these are all questions. You don't have to, every single page you read and every single sentence, be asking yourself every single question. But, every couple of pages, when you decide on your character, you're going to be like, okay, how did they grow in this part? Or did we find out something new? Or are they somewhere different, so now they're acting different? Things like that. Ask yourself things like that as you read. Okay, but it doesn't need to be every single page and every single sentence. It's just, I know sometimes you could read like 1 or 2 pages at a time and then stop and think and, so on and so forth. So there are 3 types of development. There's character, event, and idea development. We're not going to go through all 3. We're only going to go through character development for this project. Okay. And character development has to do with how are the characters introduced? How do we slowly learn about their personalities and motivations over time? How do they grow or change as the text progresses? How do characters have a role in slowing down, speeding up, or causing events? How do characters express important textual ideas? Okay, so again, we're going to be looking at how the characters are introduced, and I had you guys do some questions on that a little bit. And we're going to be looking at how they grow or change, okay, again, and then how the characters have a role in slowing down, speeding up, or causing events. So especially when we get to Ponyboy and Dally and Johnny's story, how do those characters, do they make things worse? Do they make things better? Are they trying to do something else? Like, and that tells you about the kind of person that character is. Okay, let's go move on. So how do I analyze character development? So this is going to be one of the main parts that you guys will be doing during this project. You're going to first ask yourself, what choices did the author make to develop a character? Okay. Characters often develop through their actions, looks, impressions, speech, and thoughts. That's called A-list, and we're going to be talking about that in the next video. Secondly, ask, how do the plot and setting interact with the character to help development? Does the setting or plot affect the character? Does the character affect the plot or setting? This is one of the parts we're going to be not be looking into as much, because I want you guys to mostly worry about just the individual characters for this part, not necessarily the setting for what we're trying to do, but definitely what the character themselves. So that first one, that's the one we're going to be diving deep into. The second one, not so much. Finally, ask yourself, what does this show us about the character? Character development often reveals character fears, flaws, longings, attitudes, values, and aspirations. Okay, and again, we're going to be talking about this a little bit more in the next video. But the first and third ones are the ones we're going to be really diving deep into. Okay, we're going to be going through their thoughts and actions and their impressions, how other people see them, and we're going to be going mostly through what we can tell, how we can infer. And remember, an inference is something that we can make like an educated guess on based on what the text is telling us. So we're going to be looking at what this reveals about the character's fears, flaws, longings, attitudes, values, and aspirations. Okay, and here we have the A list. Okay, choices these are the choices the author did to help develop a character. And A list stands for actions, looks, impressions, speech, and thoughts. Okay, and we're going to be going over this in the next video a little bit more. But in case you want a straight look at what it looks like without my example later, you have it here in this PowerPoint. And then here we have the fears, flaws, longings, attitudes, values, aspirations. And again, these are gonna you can look at this here without my example in the PowerPoint. One of the main things you gotta think about, especially as we're reading this, and I know it's going to be a little difficult because maybe you don't read like this, but that's why we're learning this. You got to think of characters are like people. Character development makes sense when you think about it. A person's actions may reveal her values. For example, if Sandra refuses to tell a lie, she values honesty. A person's speech may reveal his fears. For example, if Andy says, "There's no way I'm doing that," when you ask him to give a presentation in the cafeteria, he may fear public speaking. When you want to analyze character development, first notice the character's A-list, their actions, looks, impressions, speech, and thoughts. Then infer what this means about the character's flavor, fears, flaws, longings, attitudes, values, and aspirations. Okay? So development means what happens to a character over time. A character's personality is not based on one action or one thing they say. So one example is not enough to show a character's development. When you read to analyze development, you need to track your character as you read, noticing how they grow or change. You will need many examples to prove an element of a character's personality, a fear, flaw, longing, value, attitude, value, or aspiration. Okay? And yeah, so one of the main ways you can think about this is like one of your friends. Like when you met one of your friends, how when you first saw them, that's like their A-list. What did you notice about them? What was your impression about them? But as you got to know them over time, so you met them in 6th grade, let's say, by the time you got to 7th grade, what did you know about their flavor, like their fears, their flaws, their longings, what do they want to do, and all that stuff? This is how you're going to be looking at the characters from The Outsiders. You have your impressions of them. Hopefully you've read the 3 chapters already. And now we're going to be drawing out more of like what their fears and their longings and their aspirations and all that kind of stuff is. Okay, so now we have one video where we're going to go through an example of how do we do this with a character, and then we're going to have another video where I'm going to show you what you need to do for the assignment that we're going to be doing this week. Okay, and I will see you guys in the next video.